Kia ora mai tātou, ko Janaye Henry tuku ingoa, no Ngāti Kahuki whangaroa ahau.
Oh, tēnā koe, Janaye.
Yeah.
Kia ora tātou, ko Josh Aoraki tōku ingoa no Kaitahu ahau, he kaiko o Mātai Arorangi ahau. And we're going to have a kōrero today about Matariki, ne?
Yeah, I reckon we are. How much do you know about Matariki?
Fair bit. I know a fair bit about Matariki.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty recent thing, I think, for a lot of people, especially now that it's a public holiday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously a lot of people wanted to learn about Matariki and, you know, what it actually means for us here in Aotearoa.
I thought we should have done like the Easter situation with a public holiday where we have more than one day.
It should have been a week holiday. That would have been great.
Yeah, the petition starts now.
I know, the petition starts now, but I'll take the one day.
I'll take the one day as a start, but let's build up. Let's build up. Okay, so Matariki, the key elements, the key components, where are we starting? Where are you taking us?
So to the basics, Matariki is a little small cluster of stars.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 9 whetū within Te Whānau or Matariki. They lie in the constellation Taurus, which is one of the Western constellations.
My star sign.
Star signs, right? So everyone knows, you know, the zodiacs. Yeah. Are you Taurus?
Yeah.
You are Taurus.
You know that about me.
I do, and I'm an Aries, so I'm close to Taurus actually.
But you're not.
I'm not a Taurus though. But yeah, Matariki lies in Taurus, so it's one of the 12 zodiac constellations. And it gets hidden basically for about a month every year.
She's shy.
She is a bit shy for a month, yeah. So as the sun kind of passes through Taurus, we lose them, which is kind of roughly where we're at the moment, just before Matariki. Yeah. And then they'll come up in a couple weeks, and that's when we start to mark Matariki, Te Tauhou.
Whee!
Oh, exciting.
And that's why it changes, because the earth moves.
Yes, around
the sun.
Yes, correct.
Don't set me up like that, because if I don't get it right, it's going to be humiliating.
Some people don't know the basics, but yeah, so they rise again in the morning, and then with a couple other things like Maramataka, which is the Māori lunar calendar.
Yes.
There's a few different elements that tie into Matariki, but it's a really good tohu of Te Tauhou for a lot of us.
Yeah, okay, cool. Into it, love it.
Yeah.
What sort of element are we focusing on today, right now?
Yeah, we'll have a kōrero around reflection, I think. So Matariki is, you know, when you hear the new year, I think often we think of like the Western New Year, so like in December, you know, like hip hip hooray, it's the new year. Yeah, drunk, you know, having
RTDs,
a party, all that vibe basically.
Party poppers.
Yes, it's very that. But Matariki is much different. It's much more about reflection and kind of looking back at the year that's been, looking forward to the year ahead too, and also, you know, acknowledging those that we may have lost for the year. So it's kind of a real different vibe to what we would consider to be a new year type thing. It's really about rejuvenation and looking back and looking at where we are at the moment and where we're going in the year ahead essentially.
A tahua. That's way better than sort of the Pākehā New Year's, where you need recovery from that.
And you need a couple of days to recover. But Matariki's just, it's so much more, there's more depth to it, and it's something that really, I think, grounds us in this whenua too. You know, there's no other country that celebrates Matariki. Everyone has their own kōrero, but it's something that really puts us to this wahi and to this whenua. It's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited.
Should we do some reflecting?
Yeah, what should we reflect on?
The year that's been.
The year that's been, another thing about Matariki, that whole reflection thing is really acknowledging our mate, those that have passed for the year. And as you know, I recently lost my grandma.
Yeah.
She passed away a couple of weeks ago, which is just before Matariki. So for me, even though this is a celebration, it's also a time to reflect on her life, you know, the impact that she had on me and kind of honouring her.
Yeah.
And also everyone else in my life. So it's quite a there's a lot of meaning behind it. It's not just a little fun party.
Yeah. Shout outs to grandma.
Yeah, and shout outs to Matariki.
Yeah. Shout outs to Matariki. I didn't lose anyone in the past year. I was very lucky. I hope that keeps rolling on and on forevermore. Do you ever reflect on things, not you specifically, but sort of the omnipotent you, do you ever reflect on things other than the people that have passed, or is that kind of like the predominant part of this?
Yeah, and I think it's a reflection on kind of everything, you know. I think for me, Matariki is a time to kind of become a bit still, to kind of step back, look where you're at in your life, you know, what are the goals that you had last year, where are you at with those, what are you wanting to do in the year ahead, you know, how are you wanting to better yourself. And for me, a lot of that's in the mahi that I do, so teaching astronomy, and I'm also a tauwera, so I'm also learning this year, and I don't think I'll ever stop learning. So for me, it's a time to look back at, you know, where was I last year? How far have I come? Because I think especially, you know, in our busy lives, people often forget to kind of take that moment to pause and see where are you, and where are you going? What are your goals? And, how far you've come essentially from last year.
It's so nice to have like a grounded time to actually reflect. I feel like I'm addicted to the chemical cortisol, like of stress. I love to be booked and busy, baby.
Yes.
But it is actually really good to stop and be like, what has happened over the past year?
Yeah.
It's that whole thing, right?
Yeah, and it's such a good time of year too, because I think a lot of us, our holidays are in the summer, and then we get back into work, into mahi, and then we're in the depths of winter. So we often, that seems a world away. So it's a really good time to kind of take stock of where you're at and what you want to do for the year ahead.
Yeah. What do you want to do for the year ahead?
Oh, everything.
Same flatmate, though.
Same flatmate.
Me.
What don't I want to do, I guess is the question. I think I look back to last year, so I think, where was I last Matariki? My reo was so much better. I know so much more my whakapapa. I'm teaching so much more about Matariki and, Mātai Arorangi astronomy.
Yeah.
And I'm also learning again this year. I'm doing rongoa, so I'm just, I'm adding the mātauranga to my kete. And for me, I didn't think that I would be doing that last year, so that's a good change for me. Yeah, what about you, though?
I'm just thinking about all the dried kawakawa in our kitchen from your course.
Sorry about that.
Everywhere. I think last year I'd finished Te Tohu Paitahi and it had been 6 months, and I finished in 2020.
Yes,
so last year it had been 6 months by the time we hit Matariki, and I was so scared to use what I'd been taught.
Yeah.
And instead of acknowledging it, I just buried it and did it.
Yeah.
And I think right now I'm at a turning point, you see me, where I kind of bully myself into going to class every week, and
Which is great.
Yeah, and I actively like really make the effort that even though it's hard and it's painful, it hurts so good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's change and it's growth, and sometimes those things are pretty rough for people, but you get through them, and it's just time to reflect and actually think about those, because did you think that you'd be in that place 12 months ago?
No, I think I was scared 12 months ago. I was like, I did this full year immersive course and that's it for life, because I'm too scared to do more. But it's cool. I like the feeling of being scared and then just doing it anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Matariki is. It's just looking at how far you've come and also just what you want to achieve. So, just so much cooler than like Christmas, which is an important holiday.
I love Christmas.
I do love a little present. But yeah, I'm really excited, especially now that obviously it's a public holiday, and I think it's a really good time, I think, for people to not just look back and look forwards and to kind of take stock of where they're at. I think it's a really good opportunity for us as a country to actually really start traditions, and the same way that we all celebrate Christmas every year. We spend time with friends and whānau, and we go to our batches, we do whatever. That's kind of like
our batches. Sorry, who did you?
Well, I don't have a batch.
Whose batch are we going to?
Any friends?
Our batch at Royal Oak that we pay rent for.
Yeah, my batch in the CBD. But it's a really good time to start those traditions.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're going to be there.
I'm at a noho marae. I've told you this.
I don't believe that. I don't accept it. We're going to have a hakari, like a big kind of potluck dinner.
You're going to have a
hakari.
hakari.
I will have a hakari. And just inviting all those people, that are in our whānau, that we want to be there, that are important to us. And for me, that's going to be a tradition. So every year, I'm going to do the same thing.
And my tradition is every year I'm going to be at a noho marae.
No, you'll be there 1 year.
1 year I'll make it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a special thing for everyone, and people are going to make their own traditions. And it's a time to learn. It's a time to really solidify what you want Matariki to be for yourself and for everyone around you. It's a time to share with other people. So it's like a birthday, but for everyone, which is great.
Yeah, stunning.
Hey, I'm going to quiz you on the whetū of the stars of Matariki. Do you know much about any of the stars or the names or the meanings?
Yeah, I've seen stars before.
Okay, cool. We're at a good start.
I've seen a star.
So the star names, I'll say the star names and I want you to tell me what you think they mean. Ne? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Matariki is the biggest and brightest star. What do you think she means?
She
is stunning.
Yeah, you say biggest and brightest star, and I'm like, she is Rachel House. She is killing it. No, I have no idea.
So Matariki, she's the mother, and the other whetū are her tamariki, her children.
Yeah.
And the star of Matariki, that kind of represents health and well-being, kind of the general hauora of our people, essentially.
Okay.
And then we've got 2 other stars. We have Tupu Arangi and Tupu Anuku.
Mm-hmm.
Any guesses what they could be?
This is going to be a really slow quiz. I think you should just tell me.
Okay. Tupu Arangi, things that grow in the sky.
Oh.
So we're talking manu, aurako trees. That
Literally like
yeah.
Tipu Arangi.
Tupu to grow arangi in the sky.
Yeah.
And then tupu anuku, you can probably guess, from the ground.
Yeah.
So those are food sources within the sky and from the ground. Then we have 2 others, which is ururangi, which is the winds,
Yes.
and waipuna arangi, which is the rains. Those 2 kind of go together. We have the 2 whetū of waiti and waitā. Waiti is fresh water, and waitā is salt water. So little fresh water sits above salt water because our oceans flow, the rivers flow to the oceans.
Yeah.
So the positions are there. And then we've got the 2 sacred stars of Hiwa Itirangi and Pohutukawa. So Hiwa Itirangi, she is the youngest of the kids in the cluster, and she represents kind of our aspirations, our goals for the year. So sometimes if you go up for a Matariki ceremony, have you been to like a Matariki dawn ceremony before?
Yes.
You might have. Sometimes you hear our kaumatua, they'll karakia out to certain whetū.
Yeah.
They'll karakia out to Hiwa, they'll send out kind of our goals for the year. And to Pohutukawa, which is the eldest of the kids, they will karakia out the names of our mate, those that are passed. And Pohutukawa kind of guides them into the sky. So yeah, they all stay together in the sky with Matariki. She's the mother. She's got her kids with her. It's kind of cute.
That is so nice.
She's got full custody.
Thank you for starting my learning journey again about Matariki.
No worries.
I really liked what you said about reflecting and it being less trashy than traditional New Year's.
Really
Not
is.
traditional. Hate that I said that. Te ao Pākehā New Year's.
Yeah, it's just a really cool time, I think, for reflection, and I hope that people are going to really start to make those traditions with their whānau.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will too.
Yeah, I will. I'll be at one of your hakaris one day, but
One
not
day.
this year.
Eventually.
Yeah. There are going to be 2 more episodes, so
Yes,
2 more chances for me to soak up as much knowledge as I can, and I can't wait because I've got so many more questions.
Fantastic. Patai mai.
And I will. So, if you also have more questions or you just want to hear more kōrero, you need to tune in to the next 2 episodes because we have Manuhiri coming.
Exciting.
Yes, we have a special guest joining us very shortly who's going to teach us a bit more about Matariki, broaden our knowledge, and tap into some maramataka.
Yeah, I love maramataka.
Yeah, I can't wait. Tune in then.